I'm Pam from Chocolate Inspirations. If you saw our other little demo, you will realize that we're doing some fun things for Valentine's Day that you can do pretty simply, and featuring our brand new product, Sweet Shots. Sweet Shots are little cups made of chocolate, milk or dark chocolate. They're hollow in the center that you can fill with fun drinks or a little bit of mousse or ganache, this kind of thing. There's a story, and I'm repeating it, so if you've seen the other video, it's just so I don't want anybody to miss the story. My daughter Marcy and my niece Elise, one of our chocolate elves, needed something for their parties to be, they wanted to be rock stars, and so they decided they needed chocolate cups that they were going to use as liqueur cups. They were such a hit at their parties, they decided we needed to have them for part of our product line. So we started making Sweet Shots, and we thought that this would be a simple thing for you to do, something a little different on Valentine's Day. If you want the easiest, simplest thing you can do, you just take one of the little chocolate cups like this and you fill it with your favorite liqueur, your favorite chocolate milk, your favorite drink, whatever it is, be it vegan, non-vegan, whatever you like, that you and your significant other or your family or whoever you're celebrating Valentine's, girlfriends, whatever it is. And you just take and you pour your actual, I'm using a liqueur here, and you pour it right into the cup, and bingo, you're done. It's all ready, and you're ready to serve. I want to let you know, though, when you put the liquid into these cups, you can't do this way ahead of time. You got maybe 10 minutes or so, so you're going to pour them right before you're going to serve them. And you've got the 10 minutes because then it'll start breaking down the chocolate and they'll start leaking, and instead of being a rock star like Marcy and Elise, you're going to have a big mess on your hands and you're not going to be happy with it. Now, then, if you want a little more work or a little more something different, I was trying to think of, because our first little video link we did, believe it or not, a salted chocolate caramel champagne. Yeah, absolutely. And what we did there, that was one thing, but I thought we need something totally different. And I'd been looking at all kinds of hot chocolate drinks, all different ethnic hot chocolate drinks. And I came across one from Mexico called Champurrado. And please, if you are Spanish and I murdered the pronunciation, I'll apologize ahead of time. I think I'm close. And so I looked at it, and it's a hot drink. And they drink it in Mexico, usually at winter, usually at night, a lot of times at Christmas. It's a thickened hot chocolate, and they thicken it with corn flour. And when it's a little thicker like this, you can use it for dipping cookies or dipping sweet tamales, whatever you like. Well, I right away thought, wonder if we could use this cold. Well, I don't know, and I didn't know a whole lot about Champurrado, so I have two relatives who were really nice enough, Griselda and her mother Irma, who are from Mexico, and they came over and showed me how to make Champurrado. So I'm going to show you how to make it, and then I'm going to tell you what we did with it, so then you can use it cold. So I'm actually giving you two recipes in one. One you can save for a nice warm drink that you would like on a winter night, and the other is for something fun that you could use for your Valentine's Day. So we're going to go through the list of ingredients sort of first. You're going to need masa flour. This all came from the Mexican supermarket. Okay, you are going to need, and here we go, let's see if I can do it right, piloncillo, and that is a brown cane sugar. If you don't want to do that, I will have a substitute on that you can use on our website with the recipe. Then you want the Mexican chocolate. There's more than one brand. Again, it'll be on our website as far as what to get. There will also be a substitute, and if I tell you to substitute dark chocolate, I just need you to know the difference is this Mexican chocolate is a very bitter dark chocolate that's been mixed with sugar and a little cinnamon. So there is a difference as far as flavor that way. The actual Mexican hot chocolate from the box comes in little discs like this, okay? So the first thing we need to do, oh, and we need, I didn't finish, that same flour. I have that measured out already in my bowl. Okay, this is some of that piloncillo. Just so you know, it's a little hard to break it up, so you need a good sharp knife. And these are cinnamon sticks. So the first thing you have to do is melt out the brown sugar, that's this, and the cinnamon sticks for flavor. So I'm putting those both in here with the water that I have pre-measured. And then I have a pot here that this lets me go ahead and show you how it's working and what's going on, because as soon as I'll show you right now, this is just what you have right now. And then pretty soon, when I say, oh, look and see this now, it's going to be with the sugar melted out. So I'm turning this on. I'm not if you were working on your stove, whatever your equivalent of maybe a medium-high heat, because you're going to need to bring it to boil. It's not going to melt out without the liquid boiling. But while this is going on, and I'm just doing a little arranging here, we're going to put the pot there. We're going to put these over here. We have our masa corn flour, and we have, trying to decide what I want to use here. I think I'm going to use the spatula. We have some water. Now, you can take the corn flour and put it in a blender and add your water to it and process it that way. I'm going to show you how to just do it here, mixing it up in the bowl in case you don't want to do the blender, don't want to have something else to clean up. So I'm going to warm this up a little bit in the microwave. Once it's warm, I'll start adding it gradually till I make a paste. And I'll show you what the consistency of the paste is. And if you think about sometimes when you're thickening gravy and you're making cornstarch in water or flour and water base to thicken your gravy, it's sort of the same thing that we're doing here. Move out my things here. I don't know if I told you, but the recipe will be available on our website. Just go to chocolateinspirations.com. It will have all the substitutions listed. Okay, so I'm going to drizzle in a little, because what I don't want is a bunch of lumps, all right? If I have a bunch of lumps, I may have to use my stick blender, and so that's why I offer the suggestion of you could use it or use your put it in your own blender to work it. And I may need a little more water than what I have here. I do. So if you'll just bear with me for 1 minute, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some more water, and then we'll be right back. So while we took our break, our water came to a boil. You can see, remember before you could see that the sugar was all lumpy. The sugar's all melted out. You have the nice cinnamon sticks. Smells wonderful in here, and just in case you didn't know, it really smells really great with those cinnamon sticks. Another thing I need to tell you is your normal cinnamon sticks, it usually calls for 1. I sort of like cinnamon, so I put in 2. Adjust accordingly. If you don't like a lot of cinnamon, don't put a lot of cinnamon in. Another thing, beeping is irritating me. Just 1 minute. Another thing that often gets added in this drink is crushed anise seeds. I did not use them, but feel free also. Our recipe will give you a suggested amount if you would like to do that. So now we're back to, because before, can you see how I don't have anything remotely looking like a paste? Nothing. So that's why I had to get more water. If I have to stop and get more water again, I'll let you know. So I'm going to try here and see. You're getting better. I do know that Griselda and her mom Irma said you can also go ahead and go to the store, the Mexican supermarket, and you can actually buy the masa already already made, and use it for your drink. We opted not to use that because we wanted to do something that would be easiest for everybody to do. You might not have a supermarket around by you. You'll have a substitute that you can use for the corn flour. Okay, I'm going to show you again, just so you know, because we're going to have to take another break and I'm going to have to get some more water. This time we can get a lot more water so we don't have to take breaks. But you see that? That is a paste. It is not, if you're used to thickening gravy, it needs to be thinner than this. So it's way too thick, so just give me another minute. And we're going to take a break. Okay, we're back. Our minute's back. We've got water heating again. But while that's going, because I already told you, our sugar melted out, our cinnamon sticks have flavored the water, we're going to add our milk. I am using almond milk here. This recipe is totally dairy-free and vegan. You can use regular milk if you would prefer. You can use coconut milk. You can use whatever your favorite milk drink is. And we're going to put it right in. Now that's poured right in with our water and with our cinnamon sticks and melted out sugar. Let me get our water here. The other thing that's going to go in here is our disc of chocolate. Now when Griselda and Irma and I made it the first time, we doubled the recipe because we had lots of people we needed to share this with. And we when we doubled the recipe, we used 1.5 discs. So I've cut the recipe down, and by rights we should be using 3/4. I'm adding the extra, a whole disc, but if you like it not quite so bitter, then perhaps you would want to cut down. I just dropped that disc right into the chocolate. Another thing that we did here is our sugar content from the brown sugar cane is a little higher than what a normal Champurrado recipe would be. Again, if you like things more bitter and you don't want them as sweet, this is just a little roadmap. We're giving you a list of ingredients, we're showing you a process, but yes, you can cut down the sugar. Yes, you can take away or add more chocolate, whatever you like. It's to your flavoring taste. Now we still have to get our paste going here. We're not even at a boil yet. We can't do anything here with this mixture like adding I'm going to call it a corn flour roux. We can't add that till all our chocolate's melted out in there. So this is going to come to a boil, and I will show you when I stir it that there's no chocolate lumps or anything else in there. So this time though, remember before I was pouring quite a bit of water in there. This time I'm going to go slow because this could turn to a slurry real fast, and that's what I want, is a corn flour slurry. So and I'm not looking at you because I'm just looking at what I have in here in the bowl. I will show you as soon as I'm close. I am not there yet. If you can see, I'm doing this on the side here. I'm getting better. It's looser, but it's not as loose as what you want. Because what you want here is you want something that's going to be able to thicken up this whole mixture you have in there. And I'm seeing a few lumps, and so that's just unacceptable. No lumps. Okay, add a little more water. This one may give it to us. You can see I have this on a medium heat. I'm switching stages here. You want to make sure you see how that milk expands. First of all, we're going to turn this down or we're going to have a big mess on our hands, meaning it's going to overflow. And when you pick a pot, you make sure whatever you're cooking in allows for that expansion. Notice that as I turn down the heat, all that expansion goes down. So you can't walk away. This isn't the time to start talking to your best friend on the phone. You have to pay attention to what you've got going here. So I'm doing pretty good here. I'm thinking most of my lumps are gone. Now, the difficult part will be is if I just add this straight into there, you could have a lot of lumps. So if you're used to tempering things like you've made egg yolks or for ice cream or tempering liquids, it is best to have, when you're having ingredients go, that they're as close to the same temperature as possible. So the way we do that here is we're going to sort of temper this flour a little. I'm going to pour just a little bit of this liquid in. So then I can stir it. This lets me bring the temperature of my corn flour mixture up to close to what I have in the pot. So then when I put it inside, but as you can see, we've still got some lumps here. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to just use a little elbow grease. And you can see that that lumpy texture that I have is starting to go away. So, just so you can see, I'm going back to the pot. I'm bringing up the heat again a little because I'm going to be adding this paste in there. And I cannot add it quite yet. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. You can see it. I'm holding it up here. Can you see? I've still got a little bit of the chocolate. Some of that's cinnamon stick, but some of that's chocolate that is not melted out. So I need that chocolate melted out. And I'll tell you right now, if you wanted to just have this as a drink right now, it's absolutely delicious, because Griselda and Irma were having me taste as we went along. I actually loved this. I thought it was great. So this would just be a little hot chocolate drink without having the thickening agent in it. Then if you would like the true Champurrado, then you need to thicken it up a little bit. I'm going to wipe off the mess I have here. So you don't, there we go. So we're not just taping all the stuff you've messed up on. And you can even see that the actual color of the liquid is changed. All the chocolate has melted out and it's changed. So we can go ahead and go. And we're gonna, I'm just adding this all in here. And like any thickening agent, you always have to bring everything back up to a full rolling boil and let it boil for a minute. One to boil out the flour taste, and the other to make sure you've seen how thick it really is. Like if you put all this in and it's like, oh boy, this is way thicker than I wanted, then you can always thin it down with a little more liquid, be it water or almond milk. And I might need to use that spatula because these sides of this pot are looking pretty bad, and we want all the ingredients mixed in here. The reason I'm using the whisk is so if there's any lumps we can be smoothing those out. Again, if there were a lot of lumps, we would just go ahead and use a stick blender, because this will take it out right away. Again, I can't even begin to tell you how good this smells. We got chocolate and we got cinnamon, my favorite things. A couple things that you should know. This can be made ahead of time. This can be made, we made our first recipe that I'm going to show you when we're going to add some alcohol to it 5 days ago and refrigerated it. So if you went to the trouble to do this, you could do it and then you could have it made already, and all you have to do is add alcohol if you choose. If you don't want any alcohol, that's fine. And you can put it in your cups. Now you're just listening to me babble while I make sure that this is coming to its true thickness. You're not going to see it while it's hot. In a minute, your magic of TV type of things is what they say. I know this isn't TV, but you're going to see what it looks like cooled down. And that will give you a better idea of what it looks like. At this point, right now, for a Champurrado hot chocolate drink, it's done. You could serve it, pour it into cups, add a little, what do I want to say? Add a little bit of whipped cream, or and sprinkle with some cinnamon. That's if you like it a lot. Now, like it a lot meaning the cinnamon. If you're going to cool it down, you wait till this cools down, you put it in a container, it goes in the refrigerator. If you're like me and you like the cinnamon, keep the cinnamon sticks in while it's cooling down until you're ready to use it, even if it's 4 or 5 days later. But it will definitely change the potency of that cinnamon in your drink. That has to go with your personal preference. So we're going to move that to the side. We're going to clean up our mess again. Back here. Remember, that's the cup that we filled with rum chata. And now we're going to fill something. This is the drink, the same drink you see right here. This is it in a container that Griselda, boy, is she going to kill me. I just called her the wrong name. Griselda and Irma and I made 5 days ago. I want you to see, it's not like it's real thick, but it's not watery thin. It's not a, I don't want you to think you're going to have a paste or a real thick gravy type substance. It's just, it's sort of, if you look at it this way, it coats your spatula. It all doesn't drip off. You can see that, okay? So that kind of gives you an idea of what the thickness is. So now what we have to do is, what alcohol, if we're going to add some, what are we going to put in there? Suggestion, we tried, and it was important that the three of us did this taste test. We tried tequila, we tried rum chata, we voted for rum chata. Another suggestion would be Kahlua. I actually liked the tequila. However, my 2 Mexican experts said that the tequila overwhelmed what the real flavor of the Champurrado should be. So I'm just passing on that you have the authentic opinion as opposed to mine. Something you should realize, though, if you are adding rum chata, Kahlua, any of those sweetened liqueurs, they're going to make it even sweeter. So how much do I add? That's to personal preference. I'm just going to add a little for right now. But what I would suggest is, depending on the amount you have here, start out with what would be a tablespoon and taste it. See if it comes across. You taste enough of the alcohol that you're looking for. If not, then add a little more until you have it kind of perfected what it is. I have not yet tried adding the alcohol, then refrigerating it and seeing what it was like. So just so you know, I've always used it. I've started with the base here, and right before I'm going to serve it, I've added the alcohol. So we're going to add a little bit of the rum chata. And we're going to have to stir, and I'm going to sneeze, so just, maybe I'm not. Hate that when you think you're going to sneeze and you don't. Excuse me. Thank you. I guess I was right. All right, and then you pour it. I want to caution you, so it's just before I was going to pour. You cannot pour this warm drink in right away. It has to cool down. Anything over 88 degrees, your chocolate is going to melt, and you will have a big, messy chocolate mud puddle. So this is totally cold. We add it straight in. And we get to taste. And this is what you're going to say to your Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day from Chocolate Inspirations. It's delicious.